Okay, we are back. So the computer scrap. We're scrapping computers today. Doesn't that sound like a fun thing to do? I have a big order going out probably tomorrow, weather permitting. And this particular buyer comes in from New York, and he buys a lot of my low-end stuff. Power supplies, heat sinks, things like that. And so what I'm going to have to do today is just concentrate on getting enough material that it's worth his time to come down. I got new tools yesterday. I bought a new screwdriver. I bought new nips. And yay, right, yeah. So anyway, hopefully we're going to get back to our Sunday morning lives. You know what it is? I really like being outside, and I don't always get a lot done in the summer. I love being out on the beach. I love doing everything and anything, you know. So usually I'm just outside. All right, let's see if I can bring this up on the monitor phone. Follow my contacts. Of course, follow my contacts. Why would I do that? Now, I have the two phones, and sometimes, boy, oh boy, I just can't get the darn thing to do what it's supposed to do. Lack of practice, huh? So how's everybody been? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing well. No complaints in the Scrappy D world. Just really as a matter of course today, it's going to be productive to just tear apart as many computers as I can and get this big load topped off for tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. This is trying to see if this is copper or gold flashed. I'm not going to resell the card because I don't know the status of this computer. Once upon a lifetime ago, Scrapping Irish used to say these black masked boards were often better for gold recovery. There are a lot more gold under them. I do know Sound Blaster cards have gold under the black. This one looks like it's probably copper. Hi Dennis, how are you? So yeah, we're gonna try to get back to our Sunday morning lives here. Something else I would share with you. Hi Do-Right, how are you? Something else there's a lot of chit chat, you know, with this RAM. Hynix just SK Hynix is one of the biggest RAM producers anywhere. They're RAM dudes, and they have no more material. Hi Moyer, how are you? Oh, you know what? While I've got you here, I'm going to interrupt for a minute, guys. I want to see if I can grab this board. I had to put aside for another video, but we interrupt our regularly scheduled programming. Or maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, here they are. Mike, do you have this board? I don't know if it was you or Homie who was asking about this board. It's a socket T462 with the AMD in it. And I had these put aside to see if you guys had any interest in them. I really just need, you know, check this one out. Yeah, no, I didn't know if you already had that one. I didn't pull them because these boards might be resaleable, so I left them on here. This is a socket 7 for sure. I didn't know if you had gotten these for your shadow box. Our friend Moyer is making a beautiful shadow box. So I haven't taken anything off of these. They came from a computer technician who retired. And I think I showed you guys these a couple of weeks ago. But I do want to, I did want to show these really quick while Moyer is here. I also want to show them to Homie when I can catch him live. I think he goes a little later in the afternoon. This would have had a Pentium processor. As I said, I haven't done anything to these boards because I think there may be interest in them as a collectible. And yeah, so I've kind of left those aside for another day and time. So another one. That's probably an Intel chip under here. Silver-fingered RAM. So I'm going to eventually put these all up as a collector's lot, I think. Because there's just such a special interest with that. Here's one for you. EVGA motherboard, driver and utilities. That's Bender in the box. Cool, huh? Hi, Edsel. How are you? Yeah, so I did want to show these to you guys. I've been really super busy, so I haven't really done anything with them yet. But I definitely think that's something you would want to, you know, send to a collectible. The person who just collected, you know, they're collectible. And I don't remember which board Homie was interested in. He had said something about if I ever came across and I've completely forgotten what it was. I think it might have been the socket 7. He was looking for one for nostalgia. And so that's why I really haven't done anything with those, because I want to make sure that I have that as, you know, I have that aside for him. Yeah. Yeah, right, Dave? They sure do. I think back when I first started scrapping computers, I found, you know, we found a lot of these, which brings me back to my, yeah, like I said, I just did want to show those, because I wanted to make sure, Moyer, if there any were there that you didn't have yet in your shadow box, you know, let me know and I'll make arrangements to send it over to you. I'm doing one too. You know, some things you just do over the winter when it's quieter out. Alright. They sure do. AMD was the go-to for gaming computers. So, anyway. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Oh my God, it's so nice out today. I'm under the awning. I live out here in the summertime. Just absolutely live out here in the summer. I've been being a little extra careful with RAM. Now, there's a site called Tom's Hardware. Very, very good reading, by the way. And they said, you know, because of AI and RAM shortage and this, that, and the other thing, they're also now completely sold out of solid-state disk drives. They have no more material to make anymore. So, not good. Hello, Matthew. How are you? I'm well, thank you. Man, just plain old D around here. So, I've been being extra careful taking RAM out. Zach actually is able to test it, so I tend to sell it to him. Because he tests and you know, he tests every single stick of RAM that goes through his shop, and I've been getting very good. I'm very pleased with the payouts, because he tests everything. He'll test your, and I think that's where recycling does it too. They actually will test it for you And if it works and it's a premium RAM stick or a premium chip, they pay you much better. And I've really been doing very well with that because the bulk of my business right now has been, besides 24,000 pounds from the warehouse, a lot of the business has been updating, you know, schools that are updating and offices that are updating. And, you know, it's just running into one problem after another because now they can't get RAM to, you know, at anything near an affordable price, and they can't, oh my gosh, guys, 2.5K, and I've only been on a few minutes. God bless you. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you so very, very much. Wow. I guess you guys miss me, huh? I miss you, but, you know, it's been, you know, it is what it is. But once the, you know, once fall settles in and the cooler weather sets in, they really get back more on the schedule. I goof off a lot in the summertime. Yeah, if you're sending, hi, how are you? How are you? And so just remember, if you're sending to Zach, everything's got to be bubble wrapped, otherwise he just has to put it into scraps, and I'm sure you knew that already. Zach will also send you clamshell cases, and he will send you, you know, the boxes, the CPU boxes. Okay, this has an I-core. A lot of these have I-cores. I'm finding a lot more i5s, which are starting really to just have scrap value at this point. If you get a 9th generation or better, you'll do all right. So be careful when you're taking out the CPUs. This looks like a i7 2680. That should be about a $28 chip, I think. So be very careful handling your I-cores. This is an i3, so that's going to just be scrap, unfortunately. I can feel the weight difference. That's crazy. The i3 is just going to go as scrap, unfortunately. So these, don't touch this because the oil from your fingers will break the contact and the CPU will not test as working and you'll get squid. Hey, HMS. Need a new back, huh? You know, Larry, somebody in the chat might be able to answer that better than me. Larry wants to know, do you have a company that you use or recommend to refine or recover gold from e-waste? And that's not my bailiwick, so to speak. I don't really, I myself, I do not do any gold refining. Our houses are too close together here, and it would endanger my neighbors. And it would endanger me because I don't really have the time or money to invest in learning how to do it right now. There's a lot of people here on the channel who might be able to do that for you. We have a lot of gold refiners in the house. If you want to find people who do gold refining, just tap into the hashtag gold from e-waste. Scrooge McDuckin, Homie One, I think Moyer does refining. There's a lot of people who do refining here on the channel, and in general. The other question came through, do you get more money for CPUs? In my opinion, I'd rather just sell the CPU. If it's the thing with the CPUs, Mr. Chavez, is that the CPU has to be tested, it has to be working, and it has to be new enough to be of use. Case in point, this is an i3. It's going to test to scrap because it's old and it doesn't work. And that's, I'll tell you, it's a 9th generation too. It's a 9100. It's still gonna go as scrap. You can look on any of the board buyers. Yeah, Homie One is awesome, Matthew. I agree. Actually, pretty much in our little gold community, everybody's pretty cool. So anyway, case in point, this is an older i3. The only thing that's going to be good for somebody who needs to replace it into a computer that's running that old of a system. You won't find that now because we can't get the upgrades for the, you know, for the i7s anymore, for the Windows 10 rather. Sorry, old D-Scraps hasn't had her coffee yet. Okay, And this is, and I have to look up, there's a pricing sheet. All the major board buyers will list prices, and I have to be careful about saying them because they restrict you if you, direct people away from TikTok. This is an iCore 2680, I guess it was the 80 or 88, but this probably would be a candidate for test and buy. So if I'm going to get $28 or $29 for a chip, yeah, I'm going to send the chip, and of course I am. I've been doing very well with that as of late, and it's because of my market being a lot of... Oh, you're welcome, Larry. And don't if you have a question that I haven't answered or I didn't see it go by, feel free to ask. We got a lot of very knowledgeable people here on the channel, and they'd love to. Boy, this is a surprise. Huh. A lot of gold on this particular i7 board. Really surprised. Usually they're squid. The SATA connectors have gold, and there's gold here, which I'm surprised about. I usually don't see that much gold on an i7 board. Oh well. Yeah. Wow, guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate that. Appreciate all the likes. Yeah, it costs nothing to double tap the screen and give me a like and help me get back up into the algorithms. I'm so far behind. But it's just been that kind of a summer. What can I tell you? I'm starting to slowly but surely get everything organized and ready. I'm ready for band instrument rental season. You can clip these and put them in with your gold connector ends. And SATA connectors usually have gold. There's gold here, there's gold here. So you don't want to put those in with your spaghetti wire. You want to make sure you clip those and save them separately. As I said, I don't gold refine. I either send it off to a board buying company or some such thing. Sometimes I send presents to my buyer, to my oh goodness gracious, no thing, don't do that. Thane says he's going to throw his computer in the trash. Let us know where you are, we'll be right over. Older the golder. Even these newer computers, you're going to get, the power supply has copper and aluminum. You're going to get wire. This crummy wire is paying almost, it's almost $2, not $2. Cat wire was $2 a pound, I think, the other day. I think the only thing of any value was the darn wire. The computer boards are worth, I think, $2 a pound for iCore boards right now. You got to have a lot of them. Just burn it and hit the words. So as I stop and occasionally I try to answer questions when I can, when I see them go by, so sometimes I kind of get off topic. I don't mean to. What I was saying is, really lately, a lot of these Office changeovers, they can't get the updates for Windows 10 anymore. They can't fix it. So it's and I said to them the other day, why can't you, I suggested a couple of things, and they're like, by the time we spend the money to upgrade and try to get RAM and try to get the new CPU, it's just cheaper and easier to buy new computers. I mean, I had one guy about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, he closed his business. Brand new Dell servers, which I did very well on, and he gave them to me for coming and helping him clean the stuff out of the office. That's really where I do most of my advertising. Is that I advertise, if you have enough material there to make it worth my time, I'll come and do your office clean out of your IT technology. I destroy the hard drives. That's one good thing about having the channel, is people can actually see you dismantling things, and if they know you're going to take care of the hard drive and such, it helps you to grow a business. These are good for silver recovery. I have a jug of those that I keep. Crystal oscillators. when you have about 1 million, you can do something with them. Again, those are things I send off to people who have the, I think having the expertise is a good way to put it. I don't have the expertise to try to take on doing any kind of refining. It's very dangerous, guys. If you don't know what you're doing, it's you know, not that you can't learn. Plenty of good people on here who can teach you. I mean, you know, I'd rather just watch other people do it, and I'd rather move the things through. I'd rather sell the RAM. I'd rather sell the CPU. I'd rather sell the boards. I think everybody has their bailiwick, you know. And part of it is, I guess, the amount of material I get in. You know, you don't process it, you're drowning in e-scrap before you know it. So, you know, everybody has something that works for them. You know, I have 2 or 3 buyers, not buyers, but 2 or 3 followers, you know, that are into vintage boards. I have some people who are into artwork. These boards behind me, I actually sold. I sold to a designer, believe it or not, of all things. I'll show you. Zach said they're ugly. I sold a whole bunch of these. He bought like 12, but he bought them. He's going to do something with design. He's doing an office. So these were not copper underneath. I asked Zach to check for me. They're not. They're just gold flashed. So I had a bad board, but he wanted a whole bunch of them for a design he's doing. So that whole case got sold. I think Dave Donahue put one up on his wall too. There you go, guys. Your Halloween decor from the computer scrapper. So you know, there's all kinds of markets for stuff. Like today's pretty much what you call turn and burn. So was yesterday, because I have somebody coming tomorrow to pick up at least 2,000 pounds of low-grade material. I've got a lot of laptops for him too. That's really what he's coming down for. So that kind of influences what I'm doing today. What I wanted to do today was take that big compact Reliance server apart. But I don't think I'm going to be able to, because I've got this order going out tomorrow. Alright, so we have an iCore board. You can tell by the arm, we have a dusty iCore board. This is why I send them out to be tested. I wouldn't dare resell that without testing it. I have occasionally resold components from computers that I could check and recheck and make sure they work, you know. But sometimes when I buy bulk computers, I buy them from places that I know they're working. Those I can resell. But, you know, things that I've just picked up and thrown in the back of the truck, I tend not to. Uh-oh. Alright, so iCore boards are not really super great for gold recovery. There's some gold here, not a lot, but there's a lot more plastic and a lot more fiberglass. You compare them to some of the older boards and there's not as much gold here. Not saying there isn't any, but just not as much. Huh? That's copper flashed. So more copper. It's pretty heavy for an iCore board, but the SATA connections did have, there was gold here. I was surprised to see that, because I usually don't find squid on iCore boards. They don't have a flip. They don't have an gold banded BGA on them. They can go in with your AMD boards. Most board buyers will take those together for the same reason. There's no gold banded BGA on the board, so there's not a lot there for as far as value for chips for a buyer. Alright, what else can we dig out of here? Whew, dusty. I'll get a media drive. The hard drive I will take apart I do take the boards off and I do destroy those, but I usually put those away for the, you know, for the winter. Pretty nasty storms last week, huh? We were lucky here. That's what happened last week. We had I was okay. We were okay here in Stratford where I live, but one town over, and I could bicycle to it. They got pummeled. They had trees and buildings collapse. They had a microburst, and we got a lot of rain, but we didn't have the damaging winds that they had. I was fortunate. Yes, I know I could use power tools, but I can't talk over them, so. Another way. This is one of the most useful tools in the box because you can really get down into the corners and stuff. And sometimes the power tools just strip the screws out and then you wind up with another whole mess. I know stripping computers is a little bit boring, I'm sorry. But that is what I have to do today. Like I said, I got to get as much weight into this load as I can. He comes all the way from New York, so I want to make sure he's got enough material. By the way, guys, I will repost the video. If I don't go over an hour, it'll be here on TikTok. And if I do go over an hour, you can always find me on YT under D-Scraps, E-Scraps. Hello, Steve. Hello. I can't pronounce that one. Hello to the new people who just joined in. Welcome in. Welcome aboard, mateys. HP 6200 received on 1/13/13. Wow. Jedi 7, is that old? No. That can't be. That can't be right. Bridgeport, Connecticut. See, I don't know. When I put these all in the car after I do my pickups, I don't always know where they all came from unless I tag them, you know, as test working or some such thing. Okay. So I'm just going to put that in as a power supply, no wires. Again, my recommendation to this particular buyer is that he take this stuff down, take it apart. They're going to pay 40 cents for a low-grade board as opposed to 12 cents for a power supply, no wire. But again, just because of the enormous amount of work I have to do, I'm not doing it. I can't every time. I'm gonna need a bigger boat. Did you have, how did you make out with the weather up there, Chad? Were you guys okay? So Wednesday or Thursday? When did we get that storm? Thursday? It must have been Thursday, because I was going to go into Rhode Island Thursday, and then I didn't because of the storm. Milford got clobbered. They got clobbered really bad. You know, they're low-lying. They're coastal. Even more coastal than Stratford is. These can go in as media drives. There is gold here, and there's good boards in here as well. You can just put those in as media drives. Like I said, I'm selling him a bulk order, so I tend to, you know, those are things that I would do if I had time. I would definitely take that apart and take the board. They pay, you know, that's really where I do make my money, is the boards. Boards, RAM, and CPUs. You don't make it selling it to a scrapyard, I'll tell you that right now. I have one guy, he doesn't want to listen. And I told him, I said, I'll sell it to you as scrap, but if you're going to just turn around and sell it to another scrapyard, you're not going to make money. Yeah, he thought he could just flip this stuff. You can't. There's nobody ever made any waste like that. There's money to be made recycling the parts. There's money to be made in the boards. 2.0 terabytes. And again, those of you who follow me know that I don't resell hard drives. The exception would be if I was given permission to do so, and I have to have permission from the owner of the original owner. I had up till about a week ago. We used to have a. He used to go and we used to wipe the hard drives, and so on and so forth. But again, for me, for my business model, now I'm going to take them apart. I'm going to sell the boards and I'm going to smash the platters. Patrick Williams did a really good video on that a couple of weeks ago. Shred is 6 cents a pound right now, guys. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take these cases and I'm going to put them on the curb. I'm not even going to bother. It isn't worth the gas to go to the scrapyard. It really isn't. I've got 3. The scrapper community is, I don't want to say a strange place. That's not the word I'm looking for. It really is a world unto itself. You'll find hardworking people who like to help other people, and I find that a lot here, even on my own channel here, our community. I've seen us step in to help other members of our community through assorted adversities, and there's just something about our hearts, not so much the scrapyard, they're pretty heartless. Sorry guys, but you are. There's 3 guys who come around, they scrap in our neighborhood. And yesterday, I was piling the cases. I was going to take them to the scrapyard Monday morning, and this guy came by, and I don't know how old he was. He's an older guy, shouldn't have to be working like that. And he said, "Do you have anything I could take?" He said, "I can't find anything." And then he got out of the truck, and he's only got one good leg, and I was like, "Oh my God!" It isn't a lot of money for me to lose, but it was a lot of money for him to gain. And you know what, guys? You gotta put things back in the pot. You really do. If you take, well, shame on you. It's the way we were raised around here. My mother would have never been a wealthy woman because she would have given it all away. She really would have. She was amazing. Came from nothing. She's a depressionary kid. And boy, let me tell you, you've never met a more generous person in your life. Okay, I'm not going to fight with the fan. The fan wins. You can knock the fins off. You can get a copper motor. I mean, you can do some micro scrapping. It's up to you. For me, I'd rather just knock it apart. And I'm going to call him when I have cases later. He left me his number. And he can come get them. It's just not worth, it's not even worth the effort for me to put them in the car and take them to the scrapyard. My pickup truck is not that big. 6 cents a pound. If I put 500 pounds on the truck, it's what, $3? It's some ridiculous number. I think I put it up as the joke of the day yesterday. So, that is what I will be doing today, my friends. My advice with these is to go ahead and take them apart, and my yard will give me extruded aluminum if, and that's a big if. See, they have to bale it, and you've heard me discuss this before. I fight with them all the time about extruded aluminum. So I said, why don't you give me extruded, not on this one, because obviously it's not clean yet, but it takes no time. My point is, it takes no time to clean this. You just gotta take that out. The thing with extruded aluminum is there can't be a sliver of any kind of magnet on there. It can't be, because if they run a magnet over it at the yard, they're going to downgrade your whole load if they catch anything magnetic. And the same thing happens to them. Imagine a tractor trailer truck full of something the yard sold as clean aluminum being rejected and sent back. And I've seen it happen. I was there when it happened one day. I saw it happen with copper. I saw it happen with, and I saw it happen with aluminum. So with something like this, you got to make sure it's super, super clean. What they have to do is heat, and he explained, because I said to him, you know, I said, Rick, I said, why the hell won't you guys pay me extruded aluminum for this? I said, it is extruded aluminum by every definition. He said, well, you don't have enough of it. So we have to bale it. I said, and you have to be really careful with it too, and I get all that. And he just looked at me. I said, I know the load can get rejected. I get all that. I said, but this is extruded aluminum. I should be getting more money for it. So he said, well, you have to bring me enough that I can put it in a bale. He says, so the minimum amount I can take would be a kilo bit box. It's fine, no problem. So, you know, so that's, you know, most shirts, at least you should be able to, if you can't talk to your yard, you got a problem. See how my hand was out of the way? Always make sure your hand is clear of anything that could slide and injure you. Because you're going to slip doing this stuff. I learned that in instrument. I learned that when I used to do my band instrument repair. Make sure your hands are out of the way, huh? So this takes really no time to, no time at all to clean. These are handy dandies, let me tell you. Summer's winding down, guys. I can't believe it. You know, the kids got out of school so late here because we had such an awful winter. They got out really late, and a lot of the schools now start before, they start before Labor Day, which I think is stupid. Quickly, see here, it's easy enough to get my value out of it. I could bust these off too and get the copper motor. These are things I just, you know, these are the kind of things I save when I get a big bucket of them, you know, bin full or whatever. I'll put them up into one of the, you know, one of the loads from my buyer. But, you know, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. Never said I was fast, guys. I'm not. If you leave these, what happens is you just wind up with hundreds of them, taking up a lot of space, and, you know, so get it done while you've got the computer in front of you, and put it away, and it's done, you know. I have my sort bins out on the driveway. Okay. Oh yeah? I'll take a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. Welcome in. I see some new people in the chat. Welcome in. Chad, are you into scrapping, or you just like watching people take computers apart, or do you have a specialty? Not too far from me. Thomaston is that up near the Rhode Island border? Can't remember right offhand. You up off 395 there somewhere? Hello, Ed. How are ya? Just like watching. Good. Like watching the old lady scrapper. I get called Granny Scrapper a lot. These kids who get on my channel. Look at Granny scrapping computers. Laugh all the way to the bank, you twerp. Alright. Sound of money. There is not one speck of metal on there. I took it all off. That is extruded aluminum. That is a pound of extruded aluminum. That's 44 cents for a couple of seconds work. So, yeah. You know, clean this up a little bit with a copper bearing motor. Some yards won't take them, some yards will. You know, you gotta check with your local yard. As I said, I use garbage cans. You know, big lid on them. And what I do is I put the material up on my website, and if somebody's interested in it, you know, I like seeing people's process to develop my own. Yeah, you know what? That's how I started too. Hi, Sergeant Chappie. Welcome in. Yeah, I'll tell you, boy, you want to see somebody process stuff. You watch Patrick William. He is the master of microscrap. Oh, Scrapaholic's awesome. Yeah, he's usually on every morning. I usually if I go on during the week, I go on right after him. I do enjoy watching him. Yeah, Scrapaholic's been doing this a long time. And I don't know, I'll tell you. I guess Proud to Be Country did a 10-hour marathon the other night. I just got back from Rhode Island from a family matter, and I was in bed by the time he started, and I think I was still in bed when he ended. If you can see it, there's copper in there. Do I knock that apart and get the copper out? Oh, hell no. I leave that for other people to do. I'm that middle person, you know. This is the way I scrap outside. I don't know if you can see all the dust flying around every which way. Alright. Stick a fork in it and call it done, huh? Got myself 2 copper motors. I got a couple of rams. Copper aluminum heatsink. Yes, Chad, he's very helpful. There's a lot. He gives a lot back too. There's a lot of people in this community who really give back a lot, and he does. I'm working on that aspect of it. I'm trying to. I have boxes put together. I was supposed to get a box out to Whodunit, and there we sent boxes out. I mean, I've sent some boxes out too. I really want to start doing that more. I'm right now starting to. I have been doing general scrapping for years. I have been dismantling more deeply. Yeah, you know, there's money to be made if you have the time and you have the space. I'm not saying there's not, you know, but for me, like I said, just because I go in and, I mean, it's not uncommon for me to pick up 100 computers a week. So I don't have the time to micro scrap them. You know, as I said right now, a lot of times I'll sell them whole. But right now the price of steel is really hurting that resale. Hey, Bob, how are you? Hello, farmer, welcome in. A lot of people in the house. You guys just waking up? Good morning, everybody. Cheers. All right. Well, that only took me half an hour. These really, by the way, if you're not yakking and blabbing, they don't take long to take apart at all, by the way. Call Senior Pablo in a little bit. Have him come and pick up these cases. We have a metal yard not too far from us, so our neighborhood gets a lot of... What's got me busy today? Well, I'm getting ready for... hopefully, if the weather cooperates. I have a buyer coming from New York tomorrow to pick up laptops and whatever smalls I can get ready for him to resell to the yard. So he'll take my power supplies, he'll take my laptops. What else is he going to take? He'll take these because I'll sell these to him fairly cheap, and he can break them down and get the extruded aluminum. You know, so I said about overflow. Sometimes I just don't have time to get to it all. So he'll take a lot of that kind of stuff, and then he'll have his helper dismantle it all, so he gets a little bit better money. Well, I see a flip chip. I see a gold banded BGA on here. I bet we got a pin CPU under here. This is an old Dell Windows XP with an Intel Pentium 4 inside. Okay, I lied. We're gonna get a flat chip. Usually, if you see HP loves to put in Torx. I don't know why they need to. They got. Ed says his father-in-law used to build PCs and he got a good general knowledge, etc., etc. Excellent. Welcome in, Gilbert. This is the last one I'm going to do, guys. I got a lot of other stuff to do. I don't like to get on and do the same thing all the time. I really don't. But again, sometimes your actions are dictated by what's going on today. Love this thing. Best tool in the shop. Yes, I know I can be using power tools, but I can't talk over those. My voice doesn't last. So, yeah, no, I think today is just going to be cleaning and scrapping and seeing if I can top off that load for him a little bit more, because he's got a long drive. If I can get him a few 100 pounds more of weight, that's that much better for him. And, Thirsty L. Doris Redmond, welcome. JL, thank you for the like. Appreciate that. The other reason I don't like to use the power tools because I can't I can't watch the chat and use power tools. That's a good way to get hurt. Those of you who follow me know that I'm somewhat of a klutz. Yeah! Take that! Yeah, it's going to be an aluminum heat. Copper heat. Copper aluminum. Look at that. There are a lot of... I put these aside on occasion. Again, I've got a load going out tomorrow, so he'll actually get these. But a lot of times, like, I'll save something like this, and I'll put it into, I don't know, whatever, 100-pound lot or whatever it is I put it into, and I have some buyers who specifically want this kind of material. You know, they'll buy these outright. But again, just like I said today, I just want to get as much weight onto this load for my buyer as I can. So, you know, sometimes things influence the way you're going to do something, huh? Alright, so this is the candy cane arm. When you see the candy cane arm like that, you're either going to have a Pentium or a Core Duo. You should have a flip chip, not a flip chip, a gold banded BGA. A little bit better for the gold recovery than your iCore boards are. These pay better. Most of the board sites will have these priced about $1.50 more than the iCore boards. No, I put those separately. Again, today I'm somewhat, again, I'm trying to build a better load for my buyer for today, so, you know, I may throw extra weight, a higher grade board in for him. He's a pretty consistent buyer. We fight about price all the time, but, you know, what are you going to do? He tells me I'm too expensive, and I tell him he's too cheap. So we got to meet in the middle. Well, I can't make any money. I said, well, stop selling whole computers. Take them apart. I sat down with him. I did a live video. I had him watch one of my videos live. And I did a cost analysis. You know, 40 cents a pound for the computer will get you what? Let's say the computer weighs 10 pounds. You know. But if you scrap it all out, you're going to make twice that. Scrap It All did a good video about that the other day. So this is just going to go in as a pinless CPU. It's a Pentium. It's not of any particular values. Gold flashing. They're not great for gold recovery, by the way. Everybody thinks they are, but they are not. You can sell them by the pound to any board buyer out there. They'll buy them. Sometimes I make up boxes for RESALE. And I do that with some of the higher grade boards, like the Juniper boards and stuff. Those are all sitting right next to me. I've got, I don't know, I've got about 500 Juniper servers to take apart. My IT guy is closing his shop. He's just had it, you know. I don't blame him. The supply problems are getting worse and worse and worse. It's really, really bad. You know. I'm watching to see what happens with RAM. I don't understand why companies like SK Hynix or anybody who makes RAM, why can't they buy the used RAM and repurpose it? I don't get it. It's not a material shortage. It's well, there is a material shortage, but it could certainly be alleviated by, you know, why not refine the RAM and make a new RAM out of it? I don't get it. Maybe it's just not that easy. Maybe I'm just too simplistic. Maybe they're afraid of to be contaminated. Contaminated RAM! Sounds like something out of the Bible. Contaminated RAM! really don't take long to take apart. Laptops are a pain in the ass. I hate taking laptops apart. So again, you got a gold banded BGA. People who do gold recovery will want something like that. Yeah, or a grade D movie. You're absolutely right. You guys are good for giggles and chuckles. You can take these off too, but again, you know, I'm not being nitpicky because I want to try to, I'm really working on getting him a good load of stuff. So that's ready to go. Small metal socket metal mutta. You small metal socket motherboard, you. That's what you are. A small metal socket motherboard. Copyright 2005, just to give you a time frame. Oh, I giggle a lot, Ed. I love to giggle. Shits and giggles, that's me. All right, everybody. Well, I hope I didn't bore you to death with tearing down computers. It's just that that's really what I've got to spend my day doing. I've got to finish weighing him out and sending him an invoice and stuff like that. But so freaking nice that all I want to do is go to the beach. I think that's coming. All right, everybody. So again, I should be back at my Sunday morning 9 o'clocks with some degree of consistency. Oh, God, this weighs a freaking ton. I'll show you these other boards I got going here. I'm not going to get to these today, though, because, again, my priority is I have to, you know, this came out of a Dell server. I got to get the metal back off. I think it's just going to lift off over these. But this is a multi-socket server board. And the reason it hasn't gone out yet is I want to get the gold pins out of here. Again, this is put off to the back burner because I've got to get the, hey, I want to make sure I get these. These are really, really good gold pins. So I want to make sure I get 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. So that's off to the side. That's got to get cleaned up a little bit more. And then we have, I got a bunch of these. These came out of a cabinet. I'll get the module cards off. Those I sell separately. Probably it goes telecom low. I think it's not a great board, but it did come out of telecom equipment. I've got hundreds of those to go. Here's another one I'll show you. Oh, come on. This is also a copper aluminum heatsink, so that's why I've got these out over here. I want to try to yank these heat sinks because he's going to buy the copper aluminum heat sinks tomorrow. So just some things I want to work on specifically to put into HC's order for tomorrow. I hope everybody has a really good day. Thank you for spending some time with me. I appreciate it very much. I really do enjoy the lives. It was nice meeting some new people in the chat today and saying hello to some old friends. And, you know, hopefully with a little luck, we'll be back at our Sunday morning 9 o'clock lives. I'm in Connecticut, and I, what am I, 1 or 2 hours behind some of you guys. So have a good day, everybody. God in heaven bless each one of you. Thank you for the gift of your time. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. And enjoy your day. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.